What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I hope you can see me. Uh, Excuse me, allergy season, big time. Anyways, how you guys doing? I hope everyone's having a fabulous Wednesday. We're gonna be taking a look at the charts. We're also gonna talk a little bit about Elon and Trump. Are they butting heads? Has Elon realized something very strange, or am I just reading into this wrong? I'm gonna show you some news articles. I'm gonna show you what CNBC is saying and kind of give you my thoughts on that about Elon and the whole DOGE thing. It's kind of funny that all this fraud they found and nobody got in trouble. There were no arrests, nothing. But we got to take a look at Bitcoin. The Bitcoin conference is it goes on until I think tomorrow's the last day. Bitcoin right now hasn't been doing much, but just kind of ranging in that range. Are we going to fall through the bottom of it, or are we going to jump through the top and make another high? We're going to take a look at that. MicroStrategy has broke back into its bearish zone right here. I do think MicroStrategy is on its way down much further. We'll talk about that later, possibly, if we have time. But let's take a look at the DXY. The DXY is still in our range here. Nothing big to talk about there. I do believe our U.S. 10-year yield is going to get up to here, which will cause interest rates to rise dramatically. I do think this will probably be our next target for the 10-year yield, maybe in the coming weeks. We'll see what happens there. If it can get above, that would mean that the economy is actually showing in the markets. Remember, guys, if we get 100 likes on this video while we're making it, what's up, Baron Boss Lady? How you doing, brother? You know what? Before my connection gets bad, I'm going to show you where my trade's at. So this trade, we're up 13,000. We have one trade was 5 Bitcoin short, one was 100. If you guys want to trade on Prime XBT, where you can trade stocks, crypto, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, Forex, everything all from one exchange, definitely check out Prime XBT. The link is down below. By using my link, you can get up to a $10,000 bonus just for signing up. So if you put in 500 bucks, they'll match it 500 bucks to use towards your margin, all the way up to 10,000. So take advantage of that. If you haven't already, it's almost over. Also, BITUNIX, for those that don't use VPN or no KYC, you can check that one out down below. Also, you could have a chance to win a Tesla, a Rolex, or the cash, all the way down to an Apple Watch. A bunch of people won the Apple Watch last month. This one ends June 26th. We're going to take a look at that trade real quick. See where it's at. So our BITUNIX trade is up 1,000. We're up 128%. So not too shabby. It does look like this is falling through, but we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Let me turn this off real quick. Taking a look at the very bullish case scenario, says Bitcoin can get all the way up here, but we're going to not look at all that right now. We're going to take a look at our charts I showed you guys yesterday. So here's our targets, right? Our first target is going to be the fall out of this rising wedge right here, right? Which we have done so far. Let me make sure that this doesn't... Yeah, we fell through that wedge, the white one here that we were talking about. Obviously, we have a bigger yellow channel, but we did fall through the wedge, and the measured move for that wedge is... Also, guys, if my stops are placed in my trades, I can't get back over there right now, but 104,000 is our first target. 104.6, somewhere in that range. Let me get rid of that. The hell is that? Somewhere in that range. Our major target is much lower than that. That gets us down to it raised, obviously, because we broke it a little bit later than we thought, but that still gets us to right around that 98, 99 range. So that's my target for the next big bounce. As you can see here on the RSI, we also broke through that 4-hour right here. Let me see what else we got. So Tesla, like I said, Tesla may get all the way up into this range. We'll see what happens there. Apple still falling. I don't know why there's 2 Teslas on there. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Are we seeing anything? So depending on where this daily closes, we may get some hidden bullish divergence here and get another big bounce up. It is a possibility, so be aware of that. We're going to go off these 2 lows here, right? And obviously this isn't a guarantee, but if we do close the daily up in this range, right, and we show a lower low in the RSI and a higher low in the price action, there is a possibility we can get that one more push up to approximately, you know, 113, somewhere in that range. But what I do want to mention on the daily here, I showed you guys this yesterday, we are having major bearish divergence in the longer term, right? You have higher highs in the price action, lower highs here. Let's take a look at, let's see what else we got up here. Taking a look at this XRP's fallen like we expected yesterday. It could not get above this high volume node here. Your next stop is somewhere around this 143 range. If that breaks, obviously we have much lower to go for that. And we talked about this, we fell out of this falling wedge or rising channel here. Our approximate target was around 27. Don't forget, guys, smash that like button. If you're watching on mobile, exit the chat real quick, hit the like button, and you can get right back in. What do you guys think of my golf hat? Natural slice. I like it. All right. But that's what I'm looking at there. That's let's look at ADA. So ADA Cardano is looking just lingering around in here, right? I still think we get down to these levels, so just be cautious, guys. I think it's going to go a lot lower. Ethereum. So Ethereum is, we can remain bullish above this trend line, right? But if it drops below this 2337, we're definitely gonna go check this 15,000 or 1500 range again. And if that breaks, we're looking at about 700. If that breaks, obviously much lower. Litecoin has broken back below its major trend line, so it's probably going to do the same thing for Ethereum, so watch out for that, guys. And that's pretty much about it for there. Now let's talk a little bit about Elon. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. All right, so here's one. Musk's role leading DOGE qualifies as a continuing and permanent federal judge says. So people put a lawsuit out. What was it? 15 states or 14 states. They put a lawsuit out on Elon and Trump. Now, if you guys were really paying attention, which I'm sure most of you that watch this channel was, when DOGE started hitting, they started hitting hard, finding all this fraud and you know, just crazy stuff going on. Everybody was, you know, wanting to see some action, some arrests, some responsibility taken, right? Which never happened. Nobody has gotten in trouble or nothing. And I think Musk is realizing that the government is much more powerful, much more in control than anybody suspected. There's a few top families that really run shit. I don't think the government does anything. If you guys have watched the Edward Snowden stuff, all the surveillance and all that, they can literally have stuff on anybody and make them do what they want. And Trump and Elon looked in the beginning like they were ready to do some damage and really clean this stuff up. But now Trump has really backed off of all that fraud stuff. Elon has also. They're trying to push the big bill. So this was an interview CBS did with him yesterday. It's not aired yet. I think it airs on the 1st. It might even air today. But anyways, Elon Musk says Trump's spending bill undermines the work DOGE has been doing, right? So he's obviously getting a little upset because DOGE has done a bunch of stuff and it's being taken for granted or just being brushed to the side. Maybe because that's what Trump is told to do. I don't know. You let me know. Let me know what you guys think. So we'll get into the chat here in a minute, and we'll go over some coins of your choice if you guys want. But Elon Musk said the big beautiful bill will not help the nation's finances in an interview to be aired by CBS Sunday morning. Oh, so it's gonna be Sunday morning. I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. That's what Musk said. So he's not agreeing with the bill. The bill has got way a lot of spending. It's like $3 billion more in spending. I don't know what this line is up here, but let's see what he said. I quote, Elon said, "I was like disappointed to see a massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just increase it, it undermines the work that DOGE team has been doing," Musk said in a clip the program shared on a social media forum. So basically Musk is also saying he's going back into getting more involved with Tesla, SpaceX, his companies, right? Because all the effort he was putting into DOGE looked good in the beginning, looked great, looked like things were going to happen, but nothing happened. Nobody's getting in trouble. So that's going to continue, right? So just count on our tax money getting put in the pockets of politicians and their friends through bureaucracy, fake ass crap. Be careful. I got to be careful what I say, but that's true, guys. It's sad, but anyway, it seems like Elon's coming to the reality, or this is just more smoke and mirrors. What do you think? DOGE said it saved $170 billion in taxpayer money since it began in January, targeting areas of government waste and redundancy in sometimes controversial ways. For instance, it has gutted the U.S. Agency for International Development and reduced staff elsewhere. DOGE-related moves have been responsible for some of 275,000 government layoffs, according to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, a consultancy firm. The sweeping One Big Beautiful Bill Act. I'm embarrassed that a bill is called that. I really am. I'm embarrassed. Let me know what you guys think. I just think it sounds stupid. Anyway, by contrast, it's projected to raise the federal budget deficit by $3.8 trillion. Guys, our country can't handle that. It cannot handle that. What it will cause if the Fed gets in and tries to save shit like they normally do, it's going to inflate. The money is going to be worth nothing. It'll get ugly. It will get ugly. So anyways, showing over the next 10 years, which you guys know as well as I do, a couple times a year, at least once a year, they're going to have to say, oh, we need to raise the budget or else we're going to have a government shutdown. God, it's over and over the same old shit. And people just blindly watch like this is all normal and good. And it's not. This shit is falling apart. Anyways. According to the Congressional Budget Office, the deficit is on track in 2025 to run close to $2 trillion, with the national debt now at $36.2 trillion. Do you get that? I think the bill can be big or it could be beautiful, but I don't know if it could be both, Musk said. Trump and congressional Republicans counter that the bill reduces spending in key areas and will generate enough growth to compensate for the tax reductions. The legislation, though, is expected to face strong resistance in the Senate. Of course it will. And the other thing, they're doing this supposedly for the tax breaks. Again, I see them raising taxes. When we should be getting rid of taxes, right? And giving the government less of our money, making them smaller, get rid of the bureaucracy, like run this country in reality and quit getting politicians, their buddies, and their families in to take all the tax money in one way, shape, or form. It's disgusting. Anyways, an interview with the Washington Post published Tuesday, Musk said the federal bureaucracy is much worse than I realized. Let me repeat that. Musk said the federal bureaucracy is much worse than I realized, and that DOGE became the whipping boy for everything. Basically, all the efforts just washed away, right? No matter what happens, what they find, it will continue on. It will continue on because that's what the government does. And that's what we, as a whole, allow it to do. People have to do something or it's just going to get worse. It's going to get harder to live. There's going to be more and more poverty. It's just going to get uglier and uglier and uglier. And as the stock market prices of things are raising is because of the value of the dollar is going down. That's it. And I do think that the markets will come down in a big way. And I still think right now it can change, but I still think that we can be in the dollar and buy the bottom of whatever companies are really showing that they're strong, right? Because if you guys understand and look at the stock market, these companies are overvalued, and a lot of them just run on debt, just keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. They're not even making enough money to pay their debt. Be careful out there, guys. If you are trading the markets, make sure you guys use stop losses. Just be careful out there. We're going to see where this one's at. Is it getting a little bounce yet? No. We're still up right around $1,000 on this one. We're up much more on the other, but I can't get back into it now. It signed me out, so sorry about that. But I think we're up about 15,000 still on the Prime XBT trade. Again, guys, if you're already signed up using my link, my Prime XBT link, all you have to do is put in Crypto Savvy 100, and that'll get you that 100% deposit bonus on anything you deposit up to $10,000. Otherwise, if you've never signed up and you're new, just sign up using the link below and it'll be automatic. Again, BITUNIX until the 6th of June. I'm sure a lot of people have been getting close to it. We'll see what's going on with that. Win a Tesla or a Rolex or take the cash, your choice. But thanks for tuning in, guys. There's going to be a lot of changes soon on this channel, so stick with us. It's going to be fun. We're going to be twisting and turning some things. It's going to be interesting. Take it easy, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.